everyone, you ready to get cooking with Sue? So today I'm going to make a soup in my quick cooker here right behind me, and if you haven't seen me, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And first we're going to give my doggie, come here, this is Gracie. Maybe you guys can see Gracie. She loves carrots, so she's going to take one out of the way. You got to take it with you. Go ahead, here, over here, take it. That should keep her occupied while we cook. So before I came online, I peeled my butternut squash. I'm also doing a buttercup squash, by the way. This is for something different. But if you want to know how to cook a buttercup squash, which is my favorite for just like eating, like let's say I'm working at home and I'm like, don't know what I want for lunch. This is probably one of my favorite lunch things. Put it upside down on a plate, add water to it, and stick it in the microwave for 15 minutes, and then it's going to come out completely moist. All the water is going to get evaporated underneath it. You won't even need to put any butter or anything. You can just eat it raw, just like that. It's amazing. So I'm going to do that for tomorrow's lunch, and let me just put that out of the way for a sec, and let me get cooking. So we are going to use our manual food processor. I already did one onion for you. When you use the manual food processor, you just want to chunk it into 1/4 inch pieces, and that gives it enough space for the blade to move around. So if you don't own a manual food processor, I love it because you can cook or make salsa, whether you're doing a fruit salsa in the summer with pineapple or apples, strawberries, kiwis, you name it. And I do those with the flour tortillas. Hi guys, good to see you on here. I'm bringing you a little closer. So this is great because you can make regular salsa in no time, and if you like your salsa chunky, you don't have to worry about when you're using an electric food processor. You push the button and it's like pureed. So we're going to go ahead and stick this in our quick cooker here because I am going to saute. Let me grab a tiny bit of oil and one of my spatulas. So we're going to saute the onions while I'm prepping all the other ingredients. So sauteing, if you've not ever seen the quick cooker before, there are all kinds of settings on it. The first setting is sear. And so searing is like sauteing, and it can be used just like a burner on your stove. So I made a taco soup in this the other day, and then I just took this whole inside pan out. I made it because I knew the day that we were going to need it, I was going to be gone with my daughter all day. So I made it in advance so that I could just come home, stick it on the burner, and reheat it. So now what we're going to do is that's going to saute. Now, I used to joke that I didn't know how to cook, but that has changed. So when you are using carrots, you want to wash your carrots before you use them. That way you can take the... No, this isn't for you. You want another carrot? Oh, you're getting stingy here, huh, Mom? You peel the carrot and you save your peels. And you're going to see I'm going to save the end of my celery as well. And this is what I make. I make my own vegetable broth. So I put them in 1 cup Ziploc baggies, and then I freeze them individually. So I cook them, and you can do it in the quick cooker. So you put all your ends of your broccoli, your onions, your celery, your carrots, all the ends of the stuff that you don't eat, and you can boil that with a bunch of water, some garlic, a little bit of salt if you want. And what happens is you're going to get this nice, rich, deep colored. I mean, look at the color of this. And you can tell I had a whole bunch of them because I put it into a gallon-sized Ziploc. But look at how deep and rich this color is. And you know that with this, you're not getting any yucky chemicals. There's nothing in here that I would be ashamed to feed somebody with allergies. So I do beef broth, I've done a chicken broth, and now I've done a veggie broth. And now that I have the quick cooker, holy smokes, I have been making chicken soup in this, and it makes the nicest, richest broth to go with it in no time. You just throw your bones, your vegetables together, and turn it on the soup button with a bunch of water, and it'll just cook right down. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to just cube up our squash. So you can use our chef's knife if you'd like. Remember, use your loser fingers so you don't lose a finger, right? Everybody that's been at my shows, don't hold back here. Choke up, pinch your blade. You're less likely to cut yourself when you do that. And you want to let the back part of your knife, this is called the heel of the knife, do the work for you. So when you push down, you want the back part of the knife to actually do the work for you. So we're just going to cube this up, and you'll notice, or maybe you didn't notice, I cut the ball part of the squash, especially if you have a really big one. Cut the bulb part off first, and it makes it easier for you to cut the rest of the squash up. This is a baby one, so we're just, it's going to be really easy to cut. But sometimes you have a much bigger one. Now, I didn't pull out my honing tool, but often if I'm going to be cutting a squash or something hard, you definitely want to hone your knife before you, oh, there goes the squash down to the count. Let's see if the dog will eat it. Yep. She's taking that. She's going to take it and run, baby. You definitely want to hone your knife before using it so that it will end up sharper. It'll be more balanced. It'll cut nicer through your squash. So we're going to throw some squash in here. We're going to throw some fresh carrots in here. We're going to throw some fresh ginger. Now, for those of you who have never used fresh ginger before, I buy fresh ginger and then I freeze it. So I, again, put it in a Ziploc baggie and I freeze it whole because you don't need this much ginger for a recipe. I should have peeled it before I froze it. It makes it much easier to grate, but either way, you can grate it from fresh, which is what I do when I first buy it, or you can grate it right from frozen, and you're going to get the same amazing flavor from frozen ginger as you would fresh, and it's way, way different than that jarred stuff or your powdered. So please, go to the grocery store, look in the herbs section if you've never bought it before. I've got some great Pak Thai recipes if you want. Comment below and I'll be happy to send them to you. I'm going to use our microplane fine grater. It does come with a safety carrying case, so when my piece of ginger or cheese or whatever I'm grating gets too small, I use that. I'm just going to grate directly into the pan. I use the same grater for my zesting, when I'm zesting up some lemons, limes, or clementines on recipes. And one of the things that you'll notice as I grate, you'll see it all ends up on the back of the grater, which is fabulous. So we're just going to bang that in there and give it a little stir. So I'm just sauteing the onions just a little bit first, just for flavor. I'm going to throw the squash in to just get it out of the way, and then I can just turn that off. So I'm going to dice up some celery. I'm going to put the carrots in. I'm going to put the can of coconut milk. And you want to use the high-fat coconut milk because that's going to give it the nice, thick consistency of like a tomato bisque or something like that. You definitely want, I feel like you guys are so far away. Come closer. I don't know whether doing it in the corner of my kitchen is better than on the counter because I notice I'm turning my back to you a lot. So this is like learning. I usually do it on the other side of the counter. So I just thought I would try something new. All right, so let's talk about the quick cooker while I'm dicing up my squash here. Quick cooker is great for making inexpensive cuts of meat cook nice and soft. So things like beef stew. You can buy inexpensive chuck meat and you're not going to lose any flavor or any nutrients when you cook it in a quick cooker. And I cooked a beef stew the other day in less than an hour. I mean, it was probably an hour total by the time it heated up and then it cooled down afterwards. But it was like an hour to do a beef stew that normally would have taken 12 hours. It's crazy, right? So we have pasta dishes. I'd love to do, I need some guinea pigs. So maybe Renee will watch this playback and she would like some chicken risotto. There's a chicken risotto, Renee, that I want to make. So my friend Renee is going through some chemo. So I think I'll make her a meal and try it and then bring it down to her. So again, you want to make sure that your celery, if you don't like the leaves of your celery, you can cut those off and put those in your soup part. My dog's looking for another carrot. Did you want another carrot? Come here. Okay, there you go. I'll have to cut another one. I'm a softie. Can you tell? It's so bad. My daughter's like, Mom, you know why Gracie begs. And I'm like, yeah, I do, because I trained her to. So when you're eating something, she'll come right over to you and wait for that last bite until you finish it. All right, quick tip about peppers. Oh my gosh, you gotta see her. She's being so funny. Can you guys see her? She was like, oh, we caught you on film. She was so funny, sorry. She was like hopping in just like she did when she was a puppy. Bell peppers. Cut your bell pepper from the bottom. Don't try to cut around the top. If you do that and then you just pull it apart, the seeds end up in one half, and then all you have to do is stick your thumb in it and you just pull the seeds right out. And then you've got your whole pepper without losing any of the top. Isn't that cool? So we're gonna go ahead and put this in the manual food processor, I guess, too, because we'll just chop it all up really fine. It is gonna be turned into a soup. Now, I've done this soup like many, many times when my husband and I were doing Whole30. So it's a little bit different recipe right now, but it's similar. And normally you roast all your vegetables first, and on a bar pan, and then you take it out and then you put it into a stock pot and you saute it, and at the very end you add your coconut milk, and then you puree it in a food processor. So it's like a 3-step process, and I'm going to do the whole thing in this quick cooker. I'm going to add the coconut milk at the very end after it's done cooking, like in the last couple minutes. You just heat it up and give it the thick, rich flavor that I'm looking for. But we're going to add some garlic. So garlic, how do you buy garlic? Anybody know? You buy garlic whitey and tighty, the way you buy men's underwear, right? So you want it to be a tight ball of garlic, and you want the garlic to be bright white. If it's darker or if it's loose, it's been sitting around for a long time. So let me grab a garlic press. We joke at my house that we have 3 garlic presses. There's usually 2 garlic presses that are in my kitchen, 1 that's in my kit. And the other day my daughter was here and she was like, where are all the garlic presses? She was trying to cook for the bridal shower that we were doing. And I'm like, they're all in the dishwasher. Now, you don't need to peel your garlic when you use a Pampered Chef garlic press, but one of the things that I like to do, because I'm getting older and so my hand strength isn't as strong, I have arthritis in my thumbs, is if you cut your garlic in half, and, oh, this actually took the skin off it, but you put it cut side down, it makes it so easy, let's see if you guys can see, so easy to just squeeze without it being any effort at all. So if you are having a hard time with your hands, just take your garlic clove, slice it in half, and just put it cut side down in the hopper, and it'll make it much easier. So I'd love for you all to tell me what you're having for dinner tonight. I'm also going to be doing some apples in a few minutes when I'm done the quick cooker with this, because if you watched my video the other day, I made 8-minute applesauce and it was phenomenal, but I added too much of the cinnamon plus spice that Pampered Chef used to make. They don't make it anymore. It's kind of sad. But I added too much, Katie said, and she said it was a little too nutmeggy. That's kind of one of the flavors that's in there. So I thought I would make another batch with just straight cinnamon, and I would mix the two together. So it's kind of cool. She put it in the 1-cup prep bowls, and I'll be posting some fun holiday ideas with the prep bowls. So we're going into obviously Thanksgiving shortly, Halloween first. And by the way, I hope you saw my little post about I'm looking for somebody to do a costume party this year. I'm going to go buy a 1920s flapper dress. I really want to go. There's a fun speakeasy in Concord, and my daughter turns 21 this year, so we were going to take her to this speakeasy, and people dress up in costume, and it's kind of fun. You go in, and it looks like a barber shop, and you have to like pick up the telephone, and you have to answer a question to get into the bar, and then they have really fun appetizers, and people dress up, and I thought, oh, that's right up my alley. Let's do something fun. So I want to use my 1920s dress more than once, so I'm hoping somebody will book a Halloween party with me, and we can do a costume party, and we'll give out prizes for most original and some other fun things like that. I've had a couple before and we've had a really good time, so I really think that you guys would enjoy it. But then we're going into Thanksgiving, so everybody's going to be entertaining, so you're going to need some ideas on entertaining. The 1 cup prep bowls are perfect for doing candy corn. If you have to give teacher gifts this year, you can put candy corn in them. You can buy a set of 6 of them for $22 and then give them out. Or, no, you get no more. You don't get any more, honey. You're all done. She's looking for more carrots. She's getting hungry again. I don't know why. She just got fed. So we're going to add salt, pepper. We're going to add some curry in here. We're going to add the vegetable stock, and then we're going to get it started. Oh, I almost put it into my compost. That would not have been good. You too can be a Perfect Chef consultant, right? You got to pay attention to what you're doing. And then I'm just going to get that started. So I need to just soak my frozen broth. And if you notice what's on my sink, I clipped some parsley from my garden, and I figured I would hang it and dry it out for when I do all my other soups. And my daughter does a ton of soups as well. So Katie, I got some parsley for you as well. So while that's going on, one of the things that we need to do is an apple. So let me grab an apple, and I'm going to show you the apple peeler core now. See my fancy bag? I don't know about you guys, but every time I show up at work, I get gifts. So this is my most recent gift. This is a insulated the dog. This is my insulated game day Patriots cooler. So the next time I have to go somewhere for Newfound Lake for the summer, or if I'm going to do tailgating, I can put my food in there. So apple peeler core, you just stick your apple on the back. You just push it forward a little bit till it gets to the blade. And then speed is your friend, so you're going to get a good rhythm going. I'm going to be adding 2 apples. That actually sweetens the soup a little bit. And then I'm going to do the rest of my bag of apples so that I can make my applesauce. But see how easy that is? You can make an apple pie in like 15 minutes if you use a pre-made crust. And if you don't want to use a pre-made crust and you want to make your crust by scratch, if you have a food processor like a big Cuisinart, you put your flour and your butter and your salt in that, and then you just go ahead and core your apples and get those ready, and then just drizzle ice water into the manual or the Cuisinart, and then once the Cuisinart is forms a ball, then you're ready. So you don't want to over mixing or over kneading is the worst thing that you can do for a pie crust. So as soon as it comes to a ball, then you want to just go ahead and stop it and take it out, and then you can use that for your pie crust. So I do pie classes in November, right before the holidays. If you want to actually make a pie, you can come to my house and we'll cook together. That's always fun. And then you go home with a pie. And the cost of the class is actually just the cost of a few products, so like $35 worth of products. So if you already own your pie pan, you don't have to buy a new one. You could buy another product that you've been thinking about. So hey Johnny, how are ya? So I am going to just go ahead and add another 1.5 cups of water, and then we're going to be good to go. And so I'm going to use this with my manual food processor. It is a 3-cup capacity, so I know filling it halfway full is what you need. Now, I'm going to show you a tip about the cover here. If you've not used this quick cooker yet, this is the silicone, I have a piece of garlic in there. This is the silicone seal that has to be nicely tucked underneath, and it comes out every time, so it goes through the dishwasher for you so that you don't have to worry about smells or flavors. So like I'm doing a curry dish right now, but I can do a cheesecake in this as well. So I don't want my cheesecake smelling like curry, right? So I am going to set this up. So remember, I've got my water, etc. Turn it on. You're going to spin the button till it says soup and stock over here, and then you just push the start button. Done. It said 30 minutes, so it's going to take a half an hour for it to cook an entire soup. It's going to rotate around and around and around until it comes up to pressure. And because I put some frozen broth in, it's going to take a little bit longer to come up to pressure, but that's fine. When it comes up to pressure, the little red button, just like a turkey timer, will pop up. This needs to be flat. This is the steam release, and the button on the front here, they both need to be facing away, showing in which direction that the steam will release. And the handles are on the bottom, so I can turn this when I'm ready to release the steam, and it'll release away from my cabinet, because you don't want to be steaming your cabinets. So I am making soup right now. I'll probably dig out, I have a second quick cooker. I'll probably do my applesauce in that, and then I'll go live on that. So thanks for joining me. I'd love to hear what you guys are having for dinner. And let me know. Let me know what you want to see me cooking in the kitchen. If you guys are like, I'm a baker, I want to see some baked goods, then let me know. So I'll add that to it. I've been thinking about making maybe some pumpkin spice little muffins in the new fall muffin pan. Plus we have emoji cookie cutters for Halloween. And next month, October, is Help with Cancer Month. So we have pink whipped cream maker, and we have pink Twix clips, things like that. So I'll be posting that as well. Make sure you jump over to my team page. Great. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Chicken salsa for the virtual tonight. Oh, good. Have a great show, Johnny.